This is part 2 of Federalist number 15. Paragraph 2, in pursuance of the plan which I have laid down for the discussion of the subject, the point next in order to be examined is the insufficiency of the present Confederation to the preservation of the Union. So he says that we're going to start talking about the insufficiency of the present Confederation to the preservation of the Union. Or in other words, he's going to be talking about the defects of the Articles of the Confederation. Articles of Confederation. So these Articles of Confederation, or the first Constitution of the United States, is not sufficient, will not do the job of preserving the Union, keeping these 13 states together. So basically, these 13 states will be in trouble. It may perhaps be asked what need there is of reasoning or proof to illustrate a position which is not either controverted or doubted, to which understandings and feelings of all classes of men assent, and in which in substance is admitted by the opponents as well by the friends of the new Constitution. He says, you might ask, well, this is so obvious. Why would you want to talk about this? It is something that even those who criticize us, who criticize this new Constitution, criticize us, the supporters of the new Constitution, would agree to. It must in truth be acknowledged that however these may differ in other respects, they in general appear to harmonize in this sentiment at least, that there are material imperfections in our national system and that something is necessary to be done to rescue us from impending anarchy. Impending anarchy means the coming anarchy if we don't do anything to get rid of these imperfections that are in our system right now. He says even those who argue with us, they're in agreement that we should do something, or we should have done something to make sure that we won't have anarchy because our system is not going to work. The facts that support this opinion are no longer objects of speculation. People cannot anymore say that you're imagining things, that really these troubles don't exist. You're just speculating. You're just guessing and imagining. They have forced themselves upon the sensibility of the people at large and have at length extorted from those whose mistaken policy has had the principal share in precipitating the extremity at which we arrived. A reluctant confession of the reality of those defects in the scheme of our federal government, which have been long pointed out and regretted by intelligent friends of the Union. Those who for a long time would doubt that this system needed to be repaired, the old Constitution was not working, and they were reluctant to confess. They did not want to confess. They did not want to agree to the fact that the reality of the defects in the scheme of our federal government, which have been long pointed out. Here, when he says federal government, he's talking about the Confederate government, okay? The government under the Articles of the Confederation. So he sometimes plays with words, sometimes like he used the word national distress, but here he says federal. So just keep in mind when you listen to these Federalist Papers, anytime they use the word national, they probably mean federal or the central government, okay? And one thing that the Federalists did, those guys who called their papers Federalist Papers, they went ahead and used the word Federalist to tell people that they are really thinking about a federal government, where they are not trying to get rid of state governments. So they actually were very smart to go ahead and give the title Federalist to their papers, because then that made the opposition have to use another title for what they went by. Because at that time, remember, they had just broken away from Britain, and it was very important for them not to have another power like the British Parliament to watch everything they do, or write laws without their consent, write laws where where the states could not say anything about. So their whole argument is we just dissolved our bond with Britain because they wanted us to respect their laws, even though we didn't have any of our representatives in the parliament. What makes you Federalists think that we're going to give you that much power, or the Federal Union that much power? So the writers of the Federalists, Publius, they decided to use this title Federalist just so that the opponents won't use this title for themselves and accuse Hamilton, James Madison, and John Jay of being people that are nationalists, that want to, in their words, consolidate power. Put all the power in the hands of the central government, or in the hands of a few people. So the choice of the title Federalist was very smart. It caught their opponents off guard. The opponents said, what we are saying, we should be using the Federalist title, not you all, because we think you are trying to make the national government extremely powerful and state governments extremely weak. So this is kind of like one of those strategies that Hamilton, Madison, and John Jay, strategic decisions they made, which was really, really to their advantage. So pretty much this second paragraph says that everybody knows that we need to unite in a better union, under a better government. Okay? Even those who are criticizing us. But unfortunately, when the time comes for them to do their share, their part, they are not helping us. They're criticizing us. And what he's going to do is, during the course of this article and the next few articles, just explain the advantages of a federal union.